All right, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to find the proper split jerk landing position. Now, if you're not quite ready for the split jerk, if you still struggle with the push press and the push jerk, let's maybe save this video a little bit later. But if you are seeing a lot of progress with the push press, lifting a lot of weight with the push jerk, and you'd like to try the next level of the movement, we can go ahead and get into the split jerk. So to start, what we want to do is, first of all, as we get into a lunge, we want to think about our feet being on train tracks. So they're just going to go forward and backward. The first step of finding the proper split jerk landing is to get into a lunge. So you can see that when I got down into a lunge, my feet went straight forward and straight back. So they're still about hip or shoulder width apart. All right. Now, next, what we want to do is check, are we at 90 and 90? So 90 degrees at hips and knees. Cool. Check. And then we take a look at our back foot. Is that toe down? Is it planted firmly into the ground? If so, then we're ready to elevate. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stand up kind of like we're doing a split squat. And we're going to evenly distribute our weight between our 2 feet. So we've got our front heel, a lot of weight in the front heel, and then we've got our back toe or the ball of our back foot planted. We've got our weight evenly distributed, creating the strongest of shapes, creating a triangle here with our legs. Position-wise, how high do we stand up? How low do we go? What we want to make sure that we're doing is that we're, kind of creating a sequence of, the first thing that's on the ground on our front leg. Our foot is actually in front of our front knee, which is in front of our hips, which is in front of our back knee, and then our back foot. So everything falls in line. If our front knee is way too far forward, or we can also say if our front foot is way too far back, then we know that we've got an issue and we need to start from step 1, finding that lunge. All right, so from here, we've got that knee behind that front foot, a slight bend in the back knee. We want to avoid this right here. Got a slight bend in that back knee, and then my toes are down. The ball of my foot is firmly planted into the floor, evenly distributing all my weight between my heel and my toe back here. Hips right in the middle, like I said, creating that nice strongest of all shapes, the triangle. Now, once we are here, once we're comfortable in this position, we found a good balance, and we're able to stand up nice and straight. So shoulders are on top of our hips and all that kind of stuff. We need to be ready to, how do we stand up from this? We always want to go front foot first. Front foot and then back foot. We call that the recovery. So recover with your front foot first always. So we'll speed up the process a little bit. We'll get down into that lunge. Make sure our feet are nice and, hip to shoulder width apart. We elevate, pause for a moment, front foot first. Cool. Now, if we're ready to add a little bit of speed, we can go through the same jerk progression that we did for the push jerk, right? So we're going to start with our feet at about hip width. 3, 2, 1, go. We're going to dip, drive, jump, and land. Notice my hands are at my side. Once I feel good, recover, front foot first. Let's do that again. Now, we bring our hands up into that front rack position. I'll go ahead and rotate towards you guys. So hands are in this front rack position. They're going to stay here for a couple reps until I get comfortable landing. 3, 2, 1, go. Do it again. And now we're going to add the punch. So jump, punch, and land. Do it again. Now you're ready to go with the PVC. As we're progressing from one stage to the next, don't forget about all the little tiny details. So making sure that we've got our arms up overhead in that last step without overextending our spine, and we're also trying to get our hands directly overhead, not out in front of us. Now that we're bringing the PVC in, let's make sure that as we're dipping and we're driving, we're pulling our chin back so that bar can go straight up overhead. We're going to try that again. There you have it. Start with the little steps. Find that lunge, elevate, find your balance, make sure your feet are wide enough, make sure you got a lot of weight evenly distributed between your heel and your back foot. You're able to sit up nice and tall with that torso. Practice jumping and landing in that same position. Practice jumping and landing, moving your arms around, and then finally bring in the PVC. You saw I messed one up with the PVC alone. So this one is one that requires a lot of coordination, a lot of practice. We do sacrifice a little bit of lateral stability in order to get our body closer to the ground and to lift heavier weight up overhead. So again, start with the basics, finding that position, jumping into that position before you load up and get super duper heavy.